feel like the biggest lesson that a lot of us are learning at the moment is that it is not up to us to save everyone. And that is something that is the biggest lesson of my life because, growing up and being different and being, feeling like you're chosen and feeling like you just have a deeper understanding of God and why He does the things He does and, lessons in life and stuff like that. You look around and you see that everyone around you is kind of similar and they do similar bad actions. They have similar problems. And, when you're different, when you're awakened, when you realize your problems, when you actually see the hurt that you cause people, you see it for what it is. A lot of these people don't see that like you do. So you're kind of more aware. You can't really hurt people past a certain limit. You kind of just, something just snaps out of you. You just kind of know not to do certain things. And these people don't. So when you're the only person that's kind of like that, to where as soon as you do something bad, you really feel conviction and you just feel wrong and you feel shame and you feel, guilt. A lot of these people don't really feel that. They're kind of stuck. They're stuck in that. They think their bad doings are normal and they think they're okay. And, when you grow up like this, when you're around this for so long, I can't really say I've ever came into contact or for a long time with anybody that has related to me on this level of spirituality and on this level of awareness to where they 100% know that they need to heal. They 100% know that the way they're living is not okay. I've never really met somebody like that to where we actually had a strong connection and that continued. If I've ever met somebody that was like me, it was brief moments of meeting people, just having one conversation, things like that. So yeah, growing up like this and being around this for so long, it causes you to look around and want to help people because you're the only, or you feel like you're the only awakened one. And I just have to keep reminding myself that it's not my job to save them. It's not my job to save my mom, my dad, my siblings, my friends, my best friend, my grandmother, my great grandmother. It's not up to me to fix anybody, even my partner. It's not up to me to fix these people and change them and save them and bring them back to God. It's not up to me. And for so long, I thought that being a chosen one meant that God put it on me and he put the responsibility on me. And that's not what a chosen one is. A chosen one is you understand the depths of life. You understand your assignment. You understand why you're here, quicker than most people can. Um, and yeah, when I finally learned to identify the actual definition of a chosen one and realizing that it doesn't mean that I have to fix these people and I have to get them to change their ways, I took this weight off my shoulders because again, for years I've witnessed this. I've witnessed just people so broken around me and wanting to just tell them like the way to fix this is just to heal. Heal yourself, love yourself, sit with yourself and understand where do I go wrong? What is the problems I feel like I have? And some people don't listen to that. And I feel like there's a couple reasons why we choose to try to save people and try to get them to get closer to God. We try to get them to heal and we try so hard. And one of the reasons is that we have compassion for them. And compassion can be a great thing, but it can also be a horrible thing because when you have so much compassion and empathy for other people, you start to feel for them, right? You feel the pain they're going through. You feel the hurt that they're putting on themselves. And, you want them to heal. You want to say, like, there's problems that you need to fix. There's problems that you're not acknowledging. You want to say that to them. You want to get them to realize that. And the problem with having so much compassion and empathy is the fact that not everybody will awaken. And I think I forget that sometimes that not everybody will come back to God. And that can be people as close as your mother, your father, your siblings, your partner, the person you're laying in bed with will never know God. And that's scary to me. That's scary that these people around me, I love these people, and one day they might never come to that realization, or it might be too late, and that hurts me. And for a while, that hurt me so deeply to where I would put myself down to get to their level, to try to compromise with them and then bring them up, and it never worked. Because they would stay at that level and I would be the only one growing. And, that's one reason that I feel like a lot of people try to heal people and try to, save them, is a lot of compassion. But that also leads to, um, not loving yourself. When you don't love yourself, you love other people more than yourself. And I've always been taught that, to put other people before myself. And not taught that in the sense of, I've been raised up to believe that. I've just been taught that, meaning I've witnessed it. So I programmed myself to believe that, other people come before you. You have to put your family before you. You have to put your partner before you. You have to put, your kids before you. You cannot put yourself first. And as great as it is to care for other people, you do not ever put other people before you. That is a lie, because, excuse me, in doing that, you're putting yourself last. No matter if you're second, you're last, right? If you put other people first, excuse me, if you put other people first, you always come last. Because as soon as you put them first, then you're putting other things under that. You're putting other things under that. You're putting other things under that. First it comes in, then it's, I need to put my career first. Then it comes, I need to put my purpose first. I need to put my kids first. I need to put you come first, meaning God is with you, okay? You and God are one. So you come first on your list of priorities and things that are the most important to you. You come first, because if you don't love yourself, if you don't take care of yourself, if your cup is not 100% full, you cannot pour into other people. You cannot even help them. So imagine you're trying to save these people when you're not even 100% there. So they're taking, not using it to the best of their ability, not using it for actual growth and development. They're taking it just to take advantage of it and then throwing it. So they're basically using all the energy that you have towards nothing. They're not growing, they're not changing their ways. So you're feeding into, you're pouring into the wrong things, okay? And I think we just need to remind ourselves that no matter how hard you try to get someone to be saved, they just simply won't. And I have to remember that when God says that he saves, that does not mean that everybody will come to him, right? God saves who accepts him, who comes to him and acknowledges their wrong and confesses their sins and wants to change their ways. God can't work with nothing. God can't work with a one-sided relationship. You know what I'm saying? So, when it comes to your mother, your father, your siblings, if they are going down the wrong road, let's just say they're, having kids out of brokenness, they cheat on their partners, they lie, they steal, they believe in, hurting other people, murder, they believe in just things that you do not believe in, that you do not feel like God believes in, and just the things that don't align to you. They believe in these things. You can tell them so many times, hey, this is what God will do. This is what I feel like I need to tell you. You need to change from this. And they might not ever budge. And that's not everybody. There might be some people that you speak life into them and they hear that. But again, they might not even awaken when you think they're going to awaken. So you trying so hard and being like, I can change them, I can save them. They might not be ready to, right? Imagine the first time you ever heard somebody talk about God. I'm pretty sure you didn't be like, oh, I'll accept God into my life. Yeah, thank you. No, you denied him. You denied him multiple times. You know what I'm saying? So that's most likely what will happen with them is they either won't ever awaken or come to Jesus, or it just might not be their time. You might not be that person that saves them or brings them closer to God, and that's okay. You might have spoke life into them and they might come back to that conversation that you talked to them about, or they might not. And again, that comes with understanding that not everybody is coming to the promised land. Not everybody is coming to heaven. And it's sad to say that people will forever live in hell, and that's not up to you to change that. There's so many times where I found myself in relationships, or had friendships, or even family, to where I would just tell them, like, why do you do the things that you do? Like, why do you feel like the things you do are okay? Why can't you just realize that this is hurting people and it's hurting yourself? Like, why do you think this mindset is okay? And they would never care to wake up. They would never care about what I'm saying. They don't care to acknowledge that, they hurt people. They don't care to acknowledge that they have egos. They don't care about that. They care about the way they're living, and that's it. And I have to come to a realization that sometimes these people do not need saving, meaning that their purpose on this earth might simply be to never awaken. Their purpose is to have children that were raised out of brokenness, and then their children will be saved. Did you ever think of that? And I never thought of that. Is that God has to allow certain people to do bad things in order for the next generation or their children to be saved. Meaning that if this child was not raised in a certain circumstance, they wouldn't have came to God, because they would have had nothing to call on him for. And in understanding that way of living, it allows me to look back at my life and forgive my parents for not doing the best, I feel like they could have did, because they did the best that they felt they could have did. And if I wasn't raised the way that I was raised, if I didn't grow up the way I was grown up, if they didn't go through what they went through, I wouldn't be who I am today. I would not call on God, because I would be living in this perfect world of what I'm saying, everything's put together. No, I had to be broken. I had to be broken, and that was my purpose. I had to be broken down to where I had to find a way out, and I had to do it for me. So now when I have kids, they will not be born out of brokenness. They will not have to deal with the trauma that I did not decide to heal. They will not deal with that. They will have a healthy household. They will have healthy parents, and be able to witness true unconditional love. They're not going to deal with the things I had to go through, but that's because I made the decision to not be like my family, to not be like the people around me. Because for so long I tried to fit in, and I seen this quote that said, the more you try to fit in, you're not going to stand out. God wants you to stand out. He doesn't want you to be the same as everybody. And growing up, I didn't understand that. I wanted to be like everybody, especially when you go through spiritual warfare, you go through situations and troubles that come with, being a chosen one. You deal with that, and you don't want to. You don't want to deal with the burdens of every single time you do one wrong, you just feel the need to change it immediately. Like, there's no constant cycle of you just getting in it. It's only like that for so long until God snaps it out of you. And I feel like that just comes with being saved. That comes with choosing God and saying, you know what, God, I accept you into my life. And when you accept him, that's when I feel like he just saves you from everything. And in knowing that I am saved, it's caused me to be grateful of everything that I didn't have to deal with, that everybody else deals with because they're not saved. And it's uncomfortable, and it feels hard, but it's way better than the pain of dealing with things from the world, dealing with the pain of putting myself through sorrow, putting myself through pain constantly. I would rather deal with the pain of just healing and feeling the pain that I have to heal, feeling the trauma all over again, than to keep going through trauma and keep building up trauma. And again, that is the biggest lesson I had to learn, is just realizing it is not up to me. It's not up to me. And I know it's sad sometimes. You want people to wake up, There's times where I've cried, I bawled my eyes out, because I'm witnessing before my eyes that these people are not awakening. Like, wow, they really cannot see. They're blinded. And that upsets me, because I was in relationships with these people. I was, related to these people, and it just makes me so sad to know that. And I think it's just because I know that there is life after this, and it's not just about being on earth. It's not just about, you know, um, happiness on earth. It's about the afterlife, and understanding that if they don't do right in this world, they're not going to see that afterlife, and you just have so much compassion for people, and you just want them to realize, and they might not ever And there's purpose in that. Everybody has purpose on this earth, whether that means they're a good person or a bad person. Again, their purpose might be to simply have children, treat them like crap, and then their kids have to grow up and acknowledge the pain that they went through and turn to God. And God has allowed that. God has grace for people so that he can meet his next, you know what I'm saying? He can meet his children that he's supposed to meet. He knows every single person that's gonna turn to him. He knows. He has a head count, right? He knew that before he made the earth. He knew that. So he knows how many people are going to believe in him. And he might just have to allow these people to do these bad things. He might have to allow these people to cheat on women so that these women wake up, right? He has to allow certain things to happen. So the next time you see that people close to you or anybody, you just see that they're not awakening, they either might, there's only three options that can happen, right? One, potentially being that you awaken them. You know what I'm saying? You get them to realize God is God is the way and they turn to God. There's another way that is you telling them they need to turn to God, you speaking life into them and they don't awaken right away. But later down the line, something happens in their life to where they go back to your conversation and then they realize, wow, this is what I've been taught, you know what I'm saying, in the past. This is what came about and now I'm finally at the point where I can call on Jesus and I can come back to him. That's the second option. And the third option is they might not ever hear what you're saying, or they might not ever care to change. They might hear what you're saying, but they won't care enough to change their ways by what you're saying. You know, you can tell them a whole blueprint of what you feel like they need to heal, and it makes complete sense, and to them, they do not care, right? And I think I'm just okay with allowing people to be the people that they're supposed to be, allowing them to make the mistakes they're supposed to make. And, you know, for a while I thought because I couldn't save these people that I couldn't be around them, but that's not the case. I can be around these people. I still love them. You know, I can have conversations with them. I just don't agree with their way of living. And that's okay. Not everybody's going to agree with everybody's way of living, but I know that I cannot control how many people come to Christ. I can't control how many people actually heal. I can just control what I do. I can control how I love myself, how I allow myself to be presented to the world, how I decide to speak about God. I can control me. And that's the only thing I can control. And I can control my decisions in the future. You know, the partner that I end up with, I can control how I talk to them, how I bring life into them. I can control how I raise my children, how I bring them close to God. You know, and that's just something I'm realizing, something I'm constantly reminding myself of. It's not my job to save everyone. So I don't know who needed to hear that message, but be easy on yourself. It's not your responsibility as much as it seems like it from, you know, trauma or whatever you've been taught or whatever you've gone through. You know, it's a defense mechanism, you know, and it's not your responsibility. It's God's, you know, and if they don't come to God, that's on them. It's their responsibility to come to God. And it's God's responsibility, God's will, to make it happen for them. But they have to make that first step. And if they don't, it's not on you. Don't blame yourself, you know. Don't be sad over it. There's nothing you can do. Pray for them. Send them love. You know, love on them. But acknowledge that it's not up to you. You're not God. You are a human being. So be easy on yourself. I love you guys and have a great day.